Your next report, 12:25. More reports more often. Tom Fran in the CarsonToyota.com 24-hour traffic center. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Still have some leftover moisture from the latest storm system that brought us new snow and just a few 100ths of an inch of rain. But we're left with a little bit more of the cooler air. So we're ending the week with temperatures slightly below average. But once we head into the weekend, we'll have weaker Santa Ana winds picking up tonight into Saturday. And that's really going to help dry us out and warm us up. Temperatures will be in the low 60s today for the coast, going to the mid-70s by the end of the weekend, upper 60s for LA and Orange County Metro, with mid-80s by Sunday. Low 70s for the valleys, with 80s returning tomorrow. Upper 60s for the Inland Empire today, with mid-80s by the end of the weekend. Upper 60s for the high desert, going to the 70s tomorrow, and then low 80s by Sunday. And then for our mountain community, low 40s today, gradually warming up to the low 60s by the end of the weekend, spreading into the start of next week. With Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecast on CBS 2 meteorologist Amber Lee for KNX 1070 News Radio.
Still edging closer to where our daytime high should be today. Right now it's sunny at 64 degrees in Van Nuys. We've got 59 in Hawthorne, Kearney. It's 61 degrees sunny Long Beach along the coast at 12 to 17. The partnership will expand COVID-19 vaccine access to underserved communities in South Los Angeles.
Kedron Community Health Center has already gotten some 90,000 doses into people's arms at its site on South Avalon Boulevard. Director of Vaccines, Dr. Jerry Abraham, says they are working with the City of LA and others to bring as many as 5,000 shots a day into Watts.
To make sure we get more vaccines out into our community in South LA, in Compton, for people experiencing housing insecurity, for those lost and caught up in the correctional...
In a quarter mile, slight left to stay on California 1 South.
We will go with mobile.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti.
This partnership is born from this devastating truth that if you are black, if you are Latino, if you are indigenous, if you're Pacific Islander...
Slight left to stay on California 1 South.
...hospitalized by COVID and to die from COVID.
Kedron Health also received a big boost for its mobile fleet with the donation of a new Honda Odyssey, thanks to the helpful Honda guys. In South LA, Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Well, repairs to the nation's roads and bridges could be getting closer to a pay-as-you-go system.
The idea has been around for a while and is gaining traction. The president's plan to fund infrastructure improvements. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is out promoting this and other ideas that he says show promise.
The gas tax used to be the obvious way to do it. It's not anymore. So a so-called vehicle miles traveled tax or mileage tax, whatever you want to call it, could be a way to do it.
California's governor has already said he wants to phase out sales of new gas-powered cars by 2035. Buttigieg says nationwide change must be transformative. He says something's got to give.
I think that Republicans and Democrats alike see the need for that.
Some Democrats have said the plan isn't big enough. Some Republicans are wary of the consequences to taxpayers, and this is just one funding idea being considered. The president expected to announce the plan at an event next week. Vicki Moore, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The Pulitzer and Oscar-winning author Larry McMurtry has died. His publisher confirming, but it did not give a cause of death. McMurtry won an Oscar for adapting the short story Brokeback Mountain into a movie. The movie version of his novel Terms of Endearment won a Best Picture Oscar. But his most successful work, Lonesome Dove, from 1985, ended up on TV. Larry McMurtry was 84. It's 12:20. We're to the final hour now of the trading day, the trading week on Wall Street. Let's get a check on your money. Here's Frank Motek.
The worst is yet to come in the third wave of coronavirus in Europe, according to German health authorities. That's their assessment, saying there are clear signs that the third wave that Germany is currently in could even be worse than the first two waves. A new requirement for all airline passengers entering Germany to provide a negative coronavirus test would start starting Monday and last until May 12th. That warning coming hours after France placed 3 more regions into France into strict lockdowns. Also, rising numbers of infections have prompted Belgian authorities to reintroduce strict measures, and Poland battling a surge in new infections. Financial markets are watching all of this closely. The price of oil moving higher, right now up more than $2, close to $61 a barrel. The price of oil had been coming down on concerns about what's happening in Europe and the impact the third wave of coronavirus might have on the global economy. But we did see oil get a pop this week on the blockage of the Suez Canal by a massive cargo ship, and that continues. Right now, the Dow is at 230 points, NASDAQ of 18, and the S&P 500 at 33. We check the money at 20 and 50 each hour. The next update at 12:50. Frank Motek from the HMS Capital Money Desk, KNX 70 News Radio.
We have yet another winner. The keyword for cash contest. Congratulations to David Ali from Los Angeles, a KNX listener, who's now $1,000 richer. Your chance to Sport with Frank. Yes, it could be your money. $1,000, but you have to listen to win. Keyword for cash again coming up at 12:49. Key member of the Lakers speaking out about his long, hard battle with COVID-19. We'll tell you more in 90 seconds. It's 12:21. Tomorrow is too late.
Later today, not much better.
When breaking news happens, you need to know now.
Get up to date every time you turn us on.
KNX 1070's Craig Bigner still on the scene.
We are talking with people who live here, who saw it. Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station.
KNX 1070 News Radio. Depend on us. With all the uncertainty and instability of this past year, do you think it's even a good time to consider refinancing our home?
Sure. And now that the election's over and states are opening back up with the new vaccine rolled out, I think it's a perfect time.
And now that we're both back at work, our wages have never been higher, and our home value keeps going up.
Exactly. I just heard that Interactive Mortgage is offering a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage at a rock-bottom 1.99% rate in APR.
Wow, 15-year fixed rates at Interactive Mortgage are just 1.99%? I can't believe they're that low.
If that's not enough, Interactive Mortgage will even pay our title, escrow, and appraisal fees.
Let's call Interactive Mortgage and see how much money we can save every month.
We can't pass this up. I'm calling them this minute. Call 844-381-CASH. That's 844-381-CASH. 844-381-2274. One Point Corporation, DBA Interactive Mortgage. Equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. New clients only. $300,000 to $548,250 loan amount limits. Maximum loan amount set by county. All loans subject to underwriting approval and not all applicants will qualify. Loans made or arranged pursuant to California Finance Law. License number 603F938 and NMLS 302352. Noon hour traffic troubles on a Friday. We hate them. We've got them, though. We'll take another look at that slowing affecting both sides of the Santa Monica Freeway. Tom standing by with more on that. We check the drive in less than 2 minutes. It's 12:23. A Lakers center, star of the team. Prime example of just how serious COVID-19 can be.
When Marc Gasol played his first game back with the Lakers since entering the protocols just under 4 weeks ago, he had painful headaches, difficulty breathing, body aches, and fever. Those were the worst symptoms, but some still persist.
It was a fading smell. That happened too. I'm slowly getting it back. It's serious. It's not only about you and how you deal with it. It's who you pass it on to. Sadly, it went around the house too. So it's nothing, to play around with. It's something very serious.
Gasol insists that people should not be forced to take the vaccine and that it's a personal decision. Randy Cardone, KNX 1070 News Radio.
We here in the U.S. switched to daylight saving time almost 2 weeks ago. It won't happen in Europe until this Sunday. CBS News correspondent Tina Cross says it'll require a lot of work for one man. He's got hundreds of clocks
Ticking inside his tiny apartment in Munich. He says, my clocks are the love of my life. I love them above all else. That's why he's not dreading this weekend's time change in Europe, when all of these clocks jump ahead an hour. When I was young and beautiful, he says, I'd host clock parties with friends to get some help. But these days, I do it all alone. And he takes his time, carefully caressing each clock as he goes.
I want to remind you again, we've got another chance for you to win $1,000. Keyword for cash is coming up next half hour, 12:49. Stick around. We've got to listen to win for the keyword. $1,000 on the line. Mayor of Los Angeles says the LAPD should explain itself after officers detained journalists. We'll tell you more about that bottom of the hour, 12:30. Right now it is 12:45. Sponsored by Nick Alexander Imports. Your traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5s. Here's Tom Tran.
Got a new problem over on the eastbound side of 210 near Mountain Street. We reported 2 vehicles involved in a crash here. It looks like a couple of semis. One of them blocking number 3 lane. The other one off to the right shoulder. There are some injuries being reported. So that East 210 is going to get pretty busy as you approach. Details from CHP about how long that's going to be in place. Let's check with Scott Bird. He's going to take a look at a couple of problems around the 405 in Southern California.
In a quarter mile, keep left to continue on California 1 South, State Route 1 South.
Crashes did go to the right shoulder, but it looks like one of them is still blocking left lane here on the southbound 405 before Burbank Boulevard. So a slowdown from right around Roscoe Boulevard, but unfortunately it's going to stay kind of slow. And this Pomona Pass is next to produce these through Getty Center Drive. And northbound, you got
keep left to continue on California 1 South.
Santa Monica Freeway already busy going eastbound out of Santa Monica.
Continue for 6 miles.
The westbound side slows from Oil Heights over into downtown. It's just busy again through Mid-City, Crenshaw Boulevard up towards Jefferson. And
us, call 800-800-NICK or AlexanderBMW.com. And remember, Nick can't say no. Next report is 12:35. More off the top. McCarthyToyota.com. 24-hour traffic center. KNX 1070 News Radio. Sunny highs, lower 60s. The beaches, mid-60s. Los Angeles and Orange County metro areas, lower 70s in the valleys. North American Vision windows temps include Hawthorne at 59, 62 Corona, 64 downtown LA. Siemens vaccination site is leaving Cal State LA. We'll tell you more in 3 minutes. It's 12:37. Ready, set, go! To Toyota of Glendora, where we make it easy to get incredible spring savings, including a new 2021 Corolla LE lease for only $124 plus tax per month, or a new 2021 Camry LE lease for just $163 plus tax per month. That's 2 of Toyota's most popular models with incredible low payments and no security deposit required. It's your choice. Or during this big spring sales event, you can get no money down on approved credit when you buy any new Toyota. Shop online anytime at ToyotaofGlendora.com or in person at our showroom conveniently located just minutes away from Orange County, Riverside, and the Inland Empire. Call 800-778-0271 for details. Ready, set, go! The Toyota of Glendora for great spring savings.
How do you know if 1-800-NO-CUFFS is right for you? I'm attorney Darren Cavanaugh, founder of 1-800-NO-CUFFS. If you've been wearing handcuffs and not by choice, 1-800-NO-CUFFS is the number you need to know. Since no one looks good in handcuffs, 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you okay?
Fine, just tackling the hall closet. I'm flinging myself into spring cleaning.
I'm going to clean up on Chardonnays at low prices and Total Wine. I want to fling into spring with thousands of wines, spirits, and beers to explore. We can save big and mix up cocktails with tequilas and fruit-flavored vodkas. There's so many choices. Chardonnays, rosés, pinots, prosecco.
I'm going to Total Wine with you. Wondrous selection, helpful guys, always low prices. Total Wine and more. Drink responsibly, B21.
Hear how the best minds in business really work with the Boardroom Out of Office podcast, hosted by Rich Kleiman, Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures business partner. Industry leaders talk about who they are, how they got here, and things they learned along the way you might not expect. Listen on radio.com and Apple Podcasts.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 1070 News Radio. Good afternoon, I'm Chris Sedens. Here's our top local story at 12:30. Mayor Eric Garcetti says he needs more information before he really knows the circumstances of 4 media members being detained at that Echo Park protest last night. There have been a series of demonstrations at the site where police have been clearing a homeless encampment at a park. An LA Times reporter was among the group that was held, and the Spectrum TV reporter apparently showed her credentials to police, but was still detained and her hands zip-tied. The mayor says if that is true, it is not proper procedure.
And that to me is absolutely unacceptable. That should not happen. There should be consequences for that. We should make sure that not only there's training that goes on, but that there's immediate procedures that when somebody does identify themselves, that is a stand down. Nobody gets taken into custody.
Mayor Garcetti pointing out that there were only 2 homeless people left at the encampment. The rest have been put into...
There's a 14-minute slowdown in 4 miles. You are still on the best route.
Will be closing in the middle of April, and while the federal and state teams will be ending their involvement, it's possible local health agencies could take over the sites and continue to vaccinate people there. KNX 1070's Pete Demetrio reports live.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency and Cal OES only had funding and vaccine supplies allocated by an emergency operation to run those sites at Cal State LA and up in Oakland for 8 weeks. Up to now, the total number of doses that went out, 500,000. The vast majority of them going to communities that were extremely poor or minority dominated. Diana Cross-Falaya with the Governor's Office of Emergency Services says people with reservations who are anticipating going to Cal State LA to get their shots can do so until April 11th. Dosages that will be given out are the Johnson & Johnson type. 1 single shot needed, not 2. Now, the sites will be shut down on April 11th, but there are talks to try to keep them open.
We are still in communications with our local partners to see if they would like to do something with this great resource.
Lyle says that since those programs and those sites have already been set up, it would be fairly logical and fairly easy for state health workers to leave and for county health officials and volunteers to move in and continue the vaccination efforts. Reporting live on Demetrio, KMX 1070 News Radio.
The head of the CDC now says the coronavirus cases continue to climb right across the nation. Dr. Rochelle Walensky, speaking at the White House COVID briefing today, says the weekly average of cases has now risen to 57,000.
I remain deeply concerned about this trajectory. We have seen cases and household admissions move from historic declines to stagnation increases. And we know from prior surges that if we don't control things now, there is a real potential for this epidemic curve to soar again. Please, take this moment very seriously.
She says the trend can be turned around, but it will take everyone working together by following public health guidelines. Meanwhile, Dr. Anthony Fauci says scientists are trying to answer the 2 most pressing questions for millions of Americans already fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Can they become infected without showing any symptoms? And if so, can they transmit the coronavirus to someone else? Dr. Fauci says a large trial is now underway involving 12,000 college students at more than 20 universities. All the students will keep an electronic diary, swab their noses daily, and provide occasional blood samples. They'll also provide names of close contacts.
The degree of transmission from vaccinated individuals will be determined by the infection rate and the close contact.
Half the students will get the 2-dose Moderna shot. The other half will initially serve as a control group while getting the same vaccine 4 months later. Dr. Fauci says it may take about 5 months to get some answers. As more people become vaccinated against COVID, there are lingering questions over how many are still likely to become infected.
In half a mile, keep left to stay on I-10 East.
Immunity will last. Another is, if you've been vaccinated but get a low-level infection, maybe you don't even know it, can you infect someone else? Here's Dr. David Agus.
We face a problem. The problem really is it's very hard to test for infection. So if you had the vaccine and you're fully vaccinated...
Keep left to stay on I-10 East.
70% of people not, so 30% will have a very low number of levels, much lower than they have at the vaccine. And the question is, are they infectious to some people? And we don't think so, but we have a definitive answer.
Among the many answers still outstanding in the science around this pervasive disease, Dick Helping, KMX 1070 News Radio.
Don't forget, we'll play Keyword for Cash in less than 15 minutes. Randy Cardoon has this hour's keyword. You've got to listen to win. It's coming up at 12:49. Again, Keyword for Cash coming up at 12:49. Elected officials across the country coming together to fight hate crimes against Asian Americans. We'll tell you more right after traffic in 2 minutes. It's 12:35. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5s. Time to check in again with Tom Tran. We've got this crash over the East Coast Street, 10-year Mountain Street. Here at the Rose Bowl. Got a couple of big races involved in this one. One off the shoulder, one in the 3-lane. There was an injury reported. That's got traffic backed up pretty solidly at this point from Arroyo Boulevard. They say pretty slow until you get past the tunnel into downtown Pasadena. The westbound side really unaffected at this point. Let's check in on the 5. Scott Burt's taking a look at the drive out of Boyle Heights down to Boynton Park. Southern California Toyota dealers 5 jam cam.
Yeah, no big problems here, but definitely a slow drive. South 5 right out of the East LA interchange. It's going to stay sluggish down to the 605 before it starts to pick up for you. Northbound, some slowing leaving Beach Boulevard up through about Artesia. Some on and off slowing out of Downey as you work your way up to the City of Commerce, but the toughest of that drive is going to start at right around the 710.